Alright everybody, how we doing today? So for our final story, Turkey has no patience left with U.S. on Syria safe zone. This is from Reuters. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu said on Wednesday that new U.S. proposals for a safe zone in northern Syria fall short, and Turkey was running out of patience as Washington appears to be stalling in efforts to seal an agreement. U.S. Special Envoy for Syria James Jeffrey held talks in Ankara this week on the zone and other issues, including progress on a roadmap agreed last year for the northern town of Manbij to be cleared of the Kurdish YPG militia. The militia has been the main U.S. ally on the ground in Syria during Washington's fight against Islamic State. However, Turkey has been infuriated by U.S. support for the YPG, which Ankara considers a terrorist organization, and has repeatedly demanded that Washington cut its ties. Following the U.S. decision to withdraw from northern Syria, the NATO allies agreed to create the safe zone, which Turkey says should be controlled by its forces and also cleared of the YPG. Question: does the YPG use, violence and fear tactics to further their political agenda? If they do, they're terrorists, by definition. So, if we can agree upon that definition and YPG does that, then they are indeed terrorists. They terrorize and use violence and fear to further their agenda. In which case, they would be right to demand that our government break ties. If we choose to recognize them and not the proper Turkey government and treat them treat them fairly, then again, they would also be in their right to demand that we cut ties. Hell, I don't even want us over there in the Near East and Middle East at all. But at a news conference in Ankara on Wednesday, Çavuşoğlu said that the two countries had failed to agree on how deep the safe zone would be, who would control it, and whether the YPG would be completely removed from the area. We got the impression that they want to enter a stalling process here, as in Manbij. Çavuşoğlu said we need to reach an agreement regarding the safe zone as soon as possible because we have no patience left. Çavuşoğlu also said that the U.S. military officials meeting with a YPG leader on Monday, the same day as Jeffrey's talks at the Foreign Ministry, indicated Washington was not sincere. The U.S. Embassy in Ankara said in a statement later on Wednesday that the two sides were committed to accelerated and concrete progress on the Manbij roadmap, adding that Jeffrey had forthright, positive, and productive talks during his visit. There was an overall discussion on Syria, and specifically for the Northeast, both sides committed to accelerated and concrete progress on the Manbij roadmap, and discussed detailed proposals to enhance Turkey's security along the Turkish border in northeast Syria, the U.S. Embassy said in a statement. You know, our support of the YPG, it's almost like, we're doing what we always do. Like, we side with the lesser evil in order to take out the bigger evil, a.k.a., ISIS, the Islamic State. But, you know what? You're still choosing evil, no matter how small. Why not deny both and take care of both, if you're going to do it at all? It's typical American strategy. It's disgusting. Possible incursion. Earlier this year, President Tayyip Erdogan said the Turkish military would launch a military offensive into northern Syria to clear the region of YPG militants, in a move that would have marked Turkey's third cross-border operation in as many years. However, the operation was later put on hold after President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw U.S. soldiers from the region. Turkey has since said that Washington has stalled progress on the Manbij roadmap and warned that it would mount to its offensive if necessary. On Monday, Çavuşoğlu said that if the safe zone in northern Syria was not established and threats against Turkey continued, Ankara would launch its military operation east of the Euphrates River. His comments came after Turkey's army made reinforcements to its troops along the border with Syria in recent weeks, with the defense minister and other generals visiting military posts in the area for inspections. On Wednesday, Çavuşoğlu repeated that there was no progress on the Manbij roadmap, and reiterated that Turkey had run out of patience and would launch its cross-border operation unless an agreement on the safe zone could be reached. We had a military operation on the agenda before we halted it over Trump's request. Cavusoglu said, adding that an agreement on the safe zone needed to be reached. Otherwise, we will do what is necessary ourselves, and we are determined. Ankara is also working with Russia and Iran allies of the Syrian government to establish a constitutional committee, a long-awaited step in stalled effort to resolve the country's civil war. If Turkey were to go after these, what were they called again? YPG? Yeah. The YPG militants, and we happen to be supporting them at the time, they could decide to turn on our forces. And that could make things real messy real fast. Personally, I don't think this sort of contested allyship is in anyone's best interest. Not when you have that much controversy and that much hate directed toward it. Like, we need out of that ASAP, because that's going to be trouble real fast. To finish off this article, asked about the details of recent phone calls with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Cavusoglu said the establishment of the Constitutional Committee could be announced in the coming days. So in short, Turkey's just pissed off at us, period. We threw them out of the F-35 program, a vehicle that we may not even need in the first place. But supposedly being allies, we have not treated Turkey with a great deal of respect. In fact, we've been very, very disrespectful to them, and they're reasonably pissed. Plus, our support of the YPG forces, which are essentially are a terrorist organization trying to overthrow their government, naturally they're going to be more than a little pissed. It's very understandable that they would have certain feelings toward the United States at this point. So I think it stands to say that we just need to cut it out, okay? We're making things worse over there, not better. And when our military talks about, oh, we need to spend all this money on defending our country from threats, and like, what threats? What enemies? Who's attacking? And, you know, when you ask them those questions like that, or at least their supporters, they just kind of shrug their shoulders and be like, I don't know. You know, what legitimate reason do we have to be over there in the Middle East? Or in the Near East? What reason do we have? What legitimate reason could we possibly have for that? None, of course. It's just personal interest. Personal, selfish interest. Stepping on the toes of other people. The exact opposite of the philosophy proposed in the Gadsden flag. You know, it says don't tread on me, but that's exactly what America does these days, is tread on anyone who treading upon would result in their advantage, because we need oil, and our government's more than willing to go to war in order to steal it, and that's not okay. That is not okay. This is not a video game. This is not where you can attack people and have it still be moral, because it's just a game. This is no game. This is real life, and we do horrible things to people over there. Obama's drone strikes where he basically murdered children. So yeah, you asked me why we need to pull out of the Middle and Near East. I just gave you all the best reasons you could ever possibly have. So Turkey, message to you Turkish folks. As an American citizen, I am absolutely sorry that my government is treating you the way they are. They're being just huge, huge jerks. And quite frankly, you should just break ties with us. Honestly, it's not worth it. Anyway.